Yo, what's up guys? In this video we're going to be looking at which are the best auras to buy in Runescape. Now there are plenty of auras to choose from and I was actually going to make this a top 10 video, but in the end I realized that ranking them as a top 10 all depends on yourself. So for example, if you're a PVMer, then you're obviously going to rank the PVMing ones higher. However, if you're not a PVMer, then you're obviously going to rank like the skilling ones higher. So instead of making this a top 10, I'm just going to make a big compilation of which auras are the best to use. And then using this video, you can just check which ones are the most that you want to use, and then you can buy them for yourself. Now before I start off, let me say that most of these auras are going to be purchased with loyalty points. The only ones that aren't going to be purchased with loyalty points are the ones that you actually get for free. However, you can gain loyalty points by being a member, and the longer that you're a member, the more loyalty points that you get. Now yeah, I know these loyalty points do take quite a while to acquire, especially if you want to buy some of the more expensive auras. However, it is kind of necessary to get these loyalty points in order to buy them, so you're going to have to do it. However, there is a quick way to get a big influx of loyalty points, and that is to buy the Gold Premier Club package. And in this package, you'll be getting 150,000 loyalty points just straight off the bat. And on top of that, you'll also get other benefits from the Premier Club, but I'm not going to talk about that because it's not related to this video. But yeah, I'd highly recommend that if you really want to get the auras as soon as possible. However, if you don't want to buy that, then you can just wait until you get enough loyalty points to buy the auras. So with that being said, let's take a look at the auras. The first one is the Festive Aura, and this gives you a 50% XP boost every day, and this lasts 30 minutes and has a cap of 50,000 XP. This aura is only available during the festive season, and Jagex give it to you for free. So this aura can currently be used since it is the festive season, and I definitely recommend that you use it every day, because if you use it every day for a month, then that will give you a total of a 1.5 mil XP boost. And obviously that's just too much XP to pass up on, so if you're not already using this every day, then make sure to do so. Next up we have the Illumination aura, and this gives you a 10% XP boost for an hour each day. Every 5th activation of this aura will increase this XP boost to a 100% XP boost. This aura is only available during the summer season and it is free. However, to get this aura you either have to be a Gold Premier Club membership member. If you want one of those, then you have to have continuous membership for at least 12 months, or you either have to have had the Enlightenment aura in your bank already, and this Illumination aura replaced the Enlightenment aura, so if you already had that aura, then that's why Jagex gave you this one for free. At least these are the ways to get it the summer that just passed. I'm assuming it's going to be more or less the same for the summer that's going to come up, so if you want to get this Illumination aura this summer, then make sure you fill out one of the 3 criterias. Next we have the Reverend Surah, and this increases the amount of prayer points that you get per potion dose, and it also makes prayer drain slower than usual. Now the increase in prayer points and the slower that the prayer points drains all depends on which tier aura you have. So tier 1 costs 5k loyalty points and it's 3% for both of them, tier 2 is 16k loyalty points and that means it's 5%, tier 3 is 29k loyalty points and that increases to 7%, and tier 4 is 57.5k loyalty points and that increases to 10% for the both of them. So if you were to buy the highest aura, which is the tier 4 aura, that would cost you 115k loyalty points. That's because if you don't already know this already, you have to buy each tier of the aura. And that's kind of annoying, and this is what makes auras pretty expensive in terms of loyalty points. But I mean, it is what it is and we do have to put up with it. So yeah, it is a really expensive aura, but I mean, it is kind of worth it. If you want to save yourself some money on like super restores or prayer potions while slaying or bossing, then you should definitely look to get this aura. Next up we have the Dark Magic aura, and this gives you a small chance of dealing a corrupt effect. Now the damage done using this Dark Magic aura all depends on either the monster's life points or your current magic level and whatever stat boosting stats that you're using. Let's say if you have 99 magic and you're using overloads as well, the majority of the time the damage that this aura outputs will be kind of like a fixed rate. However, if you're going to be fighting monsters that have quite high life points, then this aura may seem to do more damage. However, I'm not going to try and sit here and explain all the maths that goes into how much damage this aura outputs. I'm just going to say that it does increase your damage by quite a bit. And the good thing about this aura is that you don't need to buy this aura in tiers. It's just one aura that costs 42,500 loyalty points. Now I only recommend getting this aura if you're going to be doing quite a bit of PVMing with magic. And yeah, I guess if you are going to be doing that, then this is the aura for you. Next we have the Green Fingers aura, and this prevents crops from becoming deceased and provides a chance of increased crop yields. Now this aura can be used every hour because it only has a cooldown of 1 hour. And once again, the percentage of increased crop yields increases as the higher tier auras go up. So for tier 5 it maxes out at 15%. So let's just say every couple of hours or so you do a herb run. You can activate this aura every time you do a herb run and just get 15% more herbs. This aura is extremely good if you plan on doing a lot of herb runs. So if you do them consistently and frequently, then I highly suggest getting this. Because with this 15%, I mean, you may get like, 5 to 6 more herbs per run. But in the end, all those herbs do add up, and if you do end up doing a lot of herb runs, then that will equate to a lot of money. So yeah, like I said, if you do a lot of herb runs, then I highly suggest investing into this. However, it does cost a lot of loyalty points to buy the tier 5 aura. If you're looking to buy that, then it's going to cost you 230,000 loyalty points. and that is currently worth more than a year's amount of membership. So you're definitely going to have a lot of loyalty points left over. I'd personally buy other auras before this one, however if you do really want to get this then it's really up to you. Next up we have Invigorate, and this makes it so that a certain amount of adrenaline will be kept after you use an ultimate ability. And also if you're using legacy mode, then obviously you won't have adrenaline, so the special move points that you get for some weapons will be restored quicker. Once again, the amount of adrenaline that will be kept all depends on which tier of the aura you have. For tier 1 it's 3%, for tier 2 it's 5%, tier 3 is 7%, and tier 4 is 10%. I'd only recommend getting this aura if you have the other main auras that I'm going to explain later. This aura can definitely be useful, and I only recommend getting it if you're going to be using your ultimate ability a lot. And that is usually the case for most bosses, or even Slayer if you're going to be doing Slayer as well. And for bosses, it's obviously going to be bosses like the God Wars Dungeon 1, where you're just going to be constantly spamming your ultimate ability. And I guess even for God Wars Dungeon 2 as well, and for pretty much every boss kinda. And this also stacks with the Ring of Vigor as well, so if you use the Ring of Vigor along with this, that means you'll be staying with 20% instead of 10% after you use an ultimate ability. And then obviously if you use this with a Ring of Vigor and an Adrenaline Potion, then you're just going to be able to use your thresholds pretty much just straight away. So yeah, would definitely recommend this if you're going to be getting into bossing or pretty much just Slayer. Next we have the Jack of Trades aura, and this requires you to get XP and a certain amount of skills for an XP reward at the end. Now a lot of people actually use this aura and actually like this aura. I guess it's just a quick free way of getting like an XP lamp at the end. You actually get an XP book, but I mean it's pretty much the same as an XP lamp. And once again there's different tier auras, and these auras are really expensive. So at tier 2 you have to get XP in 10 skills, at tier 3 in 15, at tier 4 in 20, and at tier 5 in 25. Obviously the higher tier aura you have, the more XP that you're going to be getting at the end, and in order to buy the tier 5 version of this aura you need 225,000 loyalty points. So yeah, it is really expensive, but I mean some people say that it is worth it. I personally don't do it myself, but a lot of people do, so I guess it's just up to you on whether you want to spend this amount of loyalty points to buy this aura. Next are all the skilling auras, and there are way too many to like introduce them all individually. But I mean they all give you various effects that would be very useful in training up each individual skill, and these effects can be like, let's say for example the Call of the Sea aura, which is for fishing, and this increases your chance of catching fish by 10% for the highest tier aura, or the Lumberjack one, which is for chopping wood, and this increases it by 10%, or the 5-finger discount aura, and this increases your chance of successfully thieving by 10%, obviously for the highest tier aura as well. So yeah, they're all kind of like that and pretty similar, and for the majority of them, if you want to get the highest tier aura for that particular skill, then you're going to have to spend around 230,000 loyalty points. So I only really recommend getting these if you're going to be going for 120 in that particular skill. However, if you're not going to be going for that, then I really do not recommend getting them at all. Now we're going to move on to the ones that I actually recommend getting the most. So first of all we have the Penance aura, and this gains prayer points equal to 5% of any damage that you receive. And the best thing about this aura is that it only costs 23,000 loyalty points, and it's one of the most used auras in the game. If you plan on bossing whilst using this aura, then you most probably will not need any prayer points whatsoever. Your prayer points will just kind of be restored over time because obviously you're going to be getting hit from the boss. And yeah, this is personally one of the auras that I currently use the most. I always use it whenever it's off cooldown, whenever I'm bossing or Slayer. It just saves me having to constantly look at my prayer points to make sure that I don't run out, and it also, you know, saves me on the prayer potions that I buy. Another aura that I use constantly is this one, the Vampireism aura. And when you use this, you'll gain life points equal to 5% of any damage that you deal. However, the heal for this is capped at 50, so pretty much if you deal over 1,000 damage, then the heal is always going to be the same. And once again, this only costs 23,000 loyalty points. This aura along with the Penance aura are the auras that you should definitely get first if you plan on PVMing. They're just so cheap, and both of them are just so incredibly useful that you should definitely get them. There's definitely no reason not to, and I usually switch out between these two whenever I'm PVMing or doing Slayer. And also the last auras that I switch out between when I'm not using Vampireism or Penance is one of the next three. And the next three are the three auras that increase your accuracy. So let's start off with the Runic accuracy, and this increases your magic accuracy. Depending on which tier aura you have depends on your accuracy increase. So for tier 2 it increases it by 3%, tier 3 is 5, tier 4 is 7, and tier 5 is 10%. The Brawler aura increases your melee accuracy, and the percentages are the same as the last one. And the same goes for Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter is for range accuracy, and like I said before, the percentages that it increases by is the same for all three auras. I'd recommend just getting the aura for the style that you use the most. Personally, I use melee all the time, so I got the melee aura first. And then obviously when I could afford the others with loyalty points, I bought them as well. So I just recommend that you do the same because the accuracy increase is actually quite a lot. It just makes you hit more frequently, and you can actually notice the damage output. So yeah, if you're planning on doing PVMing, then I'd definitely look to switch between the Penance aura, Vampireism aura, and then one of these three auras here. And then, you know, just any other aura that you seem to find useful. I know there are quite a few useful auras out there, but obviously I can't, you know, just fit them all into this video. These are just the ones that I'd personally find the most useful. So if you don't see any auras that you find useful in this list that I just showed you, then make sure you go check out the full list and see if there are any there. But anyway, with that being said, that is the end of this video. I hope this helped you, and I hope this is going to help you try and find the aura that you want to buy. I know a lot of people are going to be buying the Gold Premier membership, and then they're going to have a lot of loyalty points left over. So I just thought I'd make this video to help you guys decide on which auras you want to buy. And yeah, that is it. That is the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and peace.